Hello and welcome to week 1 in review. This is Accounting 425 and I am Wendy Finn. By now you all have taken the first quiz and here we are going to review the questions and answers. Because they are automated quizzes, the choices A, B, C, D are not always the same. They do scramble those for protection, so I will give you the question and the answer. The objectives of the data collection activity of the general model for accounting information systems are to collect data that are efficient and relevant. So data should be efficient and relevant. Question 2 is covered on page 12 of your text. Which of the following is not a characteristic of effective information? Precision. Those of you that missed this question, I think once you start going through the answers, you were looking for those that are characteristics versus not. When you're reading questions and you see not or most or least, try to make those bold or all caps in your mind, and that'll help you as you're going through the answers because your brain naturally goes towards the correct answer. So those questions can be a little tricky. Question 3 is also covered on page 12. Which of the following is not a database management task? And that is summarization. Question 4, covered on pages 11 and 12 of the text. When viewed from the highest to most elemental level, the data hierarchy is file, record, attribute. Because again, we went highest to most elemental. In the book, it has it the way A looks there, of reversing that, lowest to highest, which would be attribute, record, file. So, a little bit tricky there. And question number 5, covered on page 22. Which of the following statements is most accurate? And this one had, options of C and D, or if those were mixed up, the letters might not be exactly the same. But there were 2 correct answers, and that is public accounting firms that provide attest services are not allowed under SOX to offer IT advisory services. So if you're the external audit firm, you really can't provide many advisory services. And then second, both small and large firms that have standardized information needs are potential customers for commercial software. So really, any body, any firm, any company that has standardized information needs could use a commercial software package, meaning they don't need something customized for their business. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole slide to you, but just for those of you that were struggling to get the response supported with an example format that I was looking for, here's an example of a peer's work for 1-1 that I thought was a great response. You can see there they talk about figure 1-4 depicts a general model for an accounting information system, and they provide basically the textbook type of response. So take a second and read that. Okay, and then they provide an example. For example, if the data entry clerk transposes numbers or inaccurately enters the data acquired from external sources, the data record will be erroneous. So they give you the textbook response and then provide an example, which shows that they can take what they read, find the answer, and apply it with a unique example. This was a great example provided. So that is the exact format I am looking for. Nothing too lengthy, not pages of work, just a good solid response with a nice example as support. And then this is the textbook answer for flowchart 1-2 for the new org chart. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like this. Obviously, you want to have the accounting role and the financial and marketing role. Material, sometimes it depends on your type of business. Same with production. So just take a couple minutes here and look at the layout and how they have the hierarchy. As we go through the slides, if you ever need more time, you can hit pause and spend more time with each slide. And then the nice thing about the recorded sessions too is you can always play them back. All right, with that, we're going to move into chapter 2 here just briefly. We are going to start getting into transaction processing and transaction flows. This chapter does a very nice job of tying together the process, the transaction flow, and the way the data is flowing through the systems, and then the corresponding accounting entries. So you'll be able to tie the process, the data, transaction flows, and the accounting entries together. You'll see a lot of definitions. Pay attention to the definitions. If you need to, make some flashcards or make a list of those definitions. Get comfortable with the lingo here in chapter 2 because it's going to carry throughout the text. Like I said, the process, transaction flows, and the corresponding accounting will be covered. And then really begin to get comfortable with the diagrams, the flowcharts, the symbols. We are going to be doing a lot of diagrams, a lot of process diagrams, data flow diagrams, system diagrams. So start learning those symbols and getting comfortable with those. The more automated processes are becoming, the more important flowcharting is becoming. People can no longer necessarily see their papers walking through the office. They don't receive a paper invoice anymore and take it over and enter it into the system and then put it in their filing cabinet and then process the payment and tie it back together that paper. A lot of times that's happening behind the scenes right in the system. If you have things going EDI, an order might come in, it might go to processing and fulfillment, it might go to invoicing, shipping, receiving, etc., without ever touching a person's desk. From an accounting standpoint and a system standpoint, it's very important to understand those process flows and where those control points should be to make sure data doesn't get lost or missed. So those are the key points I would like you to keep in the back of your mind as you do your reading this week. If there's anything that I missed, please do send me an email. And like I said, I will post that back out to the entire class, keeping the person who's asking the question confidential. So again, please don't hesitate to ask once you've been through the reading places where you need more clarity or more information. I would love to cover that for you. And if you ever feel that you just need one-on-one help walking through something, let's schedule a time to meet out here and do that. So again, you know how to contact me by now. I hope you have an enjoyable rest of the week, and thanks so much for your time.